You have arrived. Welcome to the Aspie World. Here's where we talk about anything and everything ASD in an upbeat and informative way. And now, here's your man on the spectrum, your autism ambassador, Daniel Morgan Jones.
Okay, so here are 77 Asperger symptoms you absolutely need to see. Oh yeah, 77. Let's get started. But guys, before we get started, if you're new around here and you don't know, my name is Dan. I have Asperger syndrome diagnosis, ADHD, and I make weekly videos like this. So just hit the subscribe button down below to stay involved and informed with all these videos that I do every single week. Also, if you haven't downloaded my Autism Life Hacks PDF book, you can do at autismhacks.net. Okay guys, so starting up at the top. Number 1 is difficulty with social interaction and communication. Number 2 is difficulty with non-verbal communication, which means hand gestures, facial expressions, and the likes of tone of voice. Number 3 is difficulty with social cues and body language. Number 4 is difficulty maintaining friends and friendships. Number 5 is difficulty with small talk and the understanding of abstract language. Number 6 is having a difficulty understanding sarcasm and humor. Number 7, difficulty understanding people's perspective. Number 8 is difficulty with empathy and understanding people's feelings. Number 9 is difficulty expressing one's own feelings. Number 10 is a tendency to take things very literal. Number 11 is to talk excessively about a specific topic of interest of theirs just all the time, incessant talking non-stop. Number 12 is a lack of interest in the awareness of social normalities and social norms and customs. Number 13 is a lack of interest in or the ability to participate in group activities. Number 14 is a lack of interest or the inability to participate and engage in imaginary play. Number 15 is a tendency to engage in repetitive behaviors or routines. Number 16 is a tendency to have an obsessive topic of interest and get fixated on that one thing. Number 17 is a difficulty in transitioning from one activity to another activity. Number 18 is a difficulty with executive function, which is kind of like organizing and planning and all that kind of good stuff. Number 19 is a difficulty with abstract thinking of problem solving. Number 20 is a difficulty in time management and punctuality. Ooh, it's a big one. Number 21 is a need for routine and predictability. Number 22 is a sensitivity to sensory stimuli like light, sound, smells, touch, and all that stuff. Number 23 is sensory-seeking behaviors like spinning around or rocking or stimming, moving that, flapping their hands up and down. Number 24 is difficulty with self-regulation and emotional control. Number 25 is the tendency to get overwhelmed and overstimulated in busy or chaotic environments like airports and shopping malls and things like that. Number 26 is a difficulty with self-advocacy and assertiveness. Number 27 is a difficulty in self-esteem and self-confidence. Number 28 is a tendency to become anxious or stressed in social situations. Oh, this is a huge one. Okay, number 29 is a tendency to become withdrawn or isolated from kind of like society in general. Okay, so number 30 is a tendency to become rigid and the inability for flexible thinking or behaviors. They're very rigid in what they want to do. So number 31 is a lack of interest to want to participate and play in sports and sporting activities. So number 32 is a lack of interest or the issues in abilities to participate in theatrical drama and acting. All those activities can be very difficult for people with Asperger syndrome. Number 33, again, a lack of interest or the ability to participate in group musical activities. Sometimes this can be overwhelming and over chaotically kind of uncoordinated, and this could just be completely off the grid for somebody with Asperger's. Okay, so number 34 is a lack of ability to be able to participate in certain dance movement activities just because of the coordination, and this could come along with things like dyspraxia and all other stuff like that. Number 35 is the difficulty with trying to create craft and being told instructions to create craft activities. Number 36 is the inability to be able to effectively prepare and cook foods and preparation of foods as an activity. Okay, so number 37 is a lack of interest in doing anything kind of gardening or outdoors activities in terms of instruction-based outdoor activity when it's easier to just stay inside. Number 38 is the inability to comprehend, to participate in academic competitions or debates. This is kind of very structurally social based, and this will be difficult for people with Asperger syndrome. Number 39 is a lack of interest or maybe the inability to participate in public speaking leadership activities that are consistent on being part of a group or part of a team. Number 40 is a tendency to become perfectionist and obsessed about a certain task or a certain project or object. Number 41 is difficulty with task initiation and task completion. Oh my goodness, this is huge. Number 42 would be a lack of interest in your typical gaming and typical puzzle activities, because those things, again, are socially constructed and are more analog to a digital brain type of person here. Number 43 is the lack of interest in wanting to participate in storytelling or creative writing activities if it's in a social setting. Number 44 is the tendency to become overstimulated and overwhelmed by information or stimuli. 45 is difficulty with self-monitoring and self-evaluation. Number 46 is the difficulty in and the appearance of getting stressed when there's a change in the routine and the difficulty adapting to new routines. Number 47 is a tendency to become very anxious and distressed when transitioning between activities or settings, right? Number 48 is a tendency to become more stressed and distressed or anxious when you're in a new, unfamiliar social environment or any environment in particular. Number 49 is a tendency to become stressed, anxious, and distressed for unfamiliar sensory stimuli. Number 50 is a tendency to become anxious and distressed when there's a new, unfamiliar academic or work environment or task. Number 51 is interesting. It's a difficulty with impulse control and delaying gratification. Number 52 is a tendency to become aggressive or self-violent when frustrated or overwhelmed with the situation. Number 53 is a tendency to become obsessed and fixated on a particular object or possession. Number 54 is awkward and uncoordinated movements. You may see that people with Asperger's syndrome may be kind of like odd at walking. 55 is a delay in gross motor development or motor skills development. Number 56 is a delay in fine motor skill development. Number 57 is a difficulty with handwriting and penmanship. Number 58 is hypertonia or a low muscle tone. Number 59 is a hypersensitivity or hyposensitivity to sensory stimuli, like, noises and sounds and touch and stuff like that. They could be hyper or hyposensitive to those things. Number 60 is tics, repetitive movements such as kind of like blinking or shoulder shrugging or any kind of like flicking their fingers or that kind of stuff. Number 61 is restlessness and fidgeting. Number 62 is unusual posture, which is similar to the walking movement, but this is just posture in general. Could be quite difficult and unusual for people with Asperger's syndrome. Number 63 is a lack of facial features and expressions when trying to express one's emotions or feelings or any kind of conversation. Number 64 is unusual eye contact or the lack thereof eye contact. It could be kind of like switching around or just not looking at you at all. Number 65 is unusual voice tone patterns. Could be non-inflectional voice or just monotone voice when they're talking, very monotonal. Number 66 is difficulty with speech articulation or pronunciation. Number 67 is unusual repetitive vocal stimming or vocalizations like humming or using their throat to make a certain noise or a certain kind of growl. Number 68 is difficulty with chewing and swallowing. 69 is GI disorders like gastrointestinal disorders where you may have constipation, diarrhea, IBS. All of those host of GI disorders come with Asperger's syndrome. Number 70 is food aversions and food sensitivities in general. Number 71 is allergies and sensitivities to certain environmental triggers. This could be pollen, pets, or even just literally like the type of texture of a sofa or something. 72 is sleep issues like insomnia or sleep apnea, very common. Number 73 is seizures like epilepsy and grand mal and small seizures like, distant seizures and stuff like that. Like, these are all very common in Asperger's syndrome. 74 is comorbid conditions like asthma or respiratory issues. 75 is migraines and frequent headaches. 76 is constant chronic pain and discomfort. Number 77 is really interesting. As the last one I'm going to talk about is the abnormalities in physical development, such as maybe a delay in or unusual growth in body parts. And this is really interesting. Could have unusual proportions for body types. And a lot of autistic individuals are sometimes looking younger than they usually are, or maybe they'll have birth defects, like I was born with a tooth. Really interesting. Guys, if you found this video interesting, please share it. Give me a comment down below if I missed any. But that was 77 Asperger's symptoms just for you because nobody's ever done it before. All right, guys. Peace. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this podcast. Make sure you are subscribed because there are people listening right now who are not subscribed to this podcast. I can see you. Make sure you subscribe. Okay guys, see you in the next one. Peace.